What's up, everyone? My name is Adam McInnis, and I'm one of the producers and songwriters on the hit track Next Level by Aespa.
I'm on the next level. 저 너머의 문을 열어 next level.
This is one of those songs that's been taking off around the world with over 81 million views in under a week. And so today I'm going to actually take some time to react to the reaction videos. Sometimes in the morning when I get up, I happen to pop up my YouTube and I've been seeing reaction videos to this video. And it's been pretty cool to watch as an outsider. So today I'm gonna watch other people, and then maybe I'll provide some information on how we made the track so you can understand as a musician, a producer, a songwriter, how some of these things are being done on the back end. But that being said, let's get into it.
Ooh.
Everyone says ooh.
Next level. We done turned up.
Everyone says
we thought we
ooh
was.
right when that scene comes in, when it flashes in that transition. And then, if you see how his head starts bobbing, the people who gravitate to this kind of music or gravitate to music that makes movement, they start to bob their heads within the first couple seconds. But what's funny is I've watched other people watch this video who are other musicians, and they don't bob their heads. Now, I know that sounds not too big of a deal to someone out there, but as a producer, we want people to move their bodies. So it's always interesting when I see people who instantly start moving where others are just kind of staring and watching. Not saying that that is anything strategic or it's a thing that you can change in a person, but I always find it interesting that right when that first beat goes, on the next pop, and they hear that snare, certain people just start to move their heads and smile and go, ooh. It's really interesting for me to see that. Yeah, this video is just wild. They really do take you into a whole other universe.
Oh, who the hell was that on the...
And there's something cool right here that happens.
Hold on,
Watch.
The bells are here?
The bells he's talking about. He's actually doing a pretty good job with the rhythm.
Like, don't tell me, I'm not...
So what that is just a bunch of percussion that I found that was kind of sounding like someone was hitting on a glass bottle. It's like just ting, 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 ting. And I heard it, and when I heard it, I thought, well, this is a good moment where we can drop off the bass line, but still keep the intention of the groove going as the melody is still going over it. So if anyone who's like a musician nerd or a producer, you'll notice that it drops out there, but it doesn't lose its intrigueness and its captivation. And even though we remove the low end sound, that frequency, which is that bass that's kind of rolling in throughout the whole song, when your ear jumps to that ting, 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 to ting, ting, it still keeps you kind of going along on the ride. And also it makes the listener almost crave to hear that bass line to come back. So when it does hit, you kind of feel fulfilled again. And this, once again, it's all people who are music nerds like us. It's going ting, 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 ting to hey, ting, 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 ting to hey. There's actually a hey throw in the background. And so these are the little things that keep the ear constantly intrigued when you're listening to music, especially in pop, hip hop, R&B, to keep the groove going and to keep continuous energy moving forward. So we are putting that in the background of the tracks.
Okay. Next level. Okay. Okay, that's how we do it next. Okay.
So what's really cool about this video in general, past all of Aespa's amazing visuals, this video in itself is probably one of the most visually future-forward videos that I've ever seen, because it's kind of like mixing video games with real life, and video game industry and the anime culture is so massive that this is like a major crossover, especially because they're using terms, or American term like next level, that everyone around the world can understand. So this is definitely a universal type song because it's capturing a lot within only a few minute video. But what's cool, what they do is they do this hand thing. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not good at it, but it's definitely a hand gesture to be with the next level. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok doing this recently. Whoever the choreographer who thought of that, something so simple, but something that people would react to, because I noticed a lot of people did what he did when they watched the reaction videos. When the girls do that L-shaped thing above their head, other people try to mimic it. which just goes to show how our mirror neurons as human beings, when we see someone do something that is triggered almost like a new element of saying, oh, I've never seen that before. And it's accompanied with an action or a word like next level. And you go, oh, okay, I'm going to try that. And people instinctively already try it without them being quote unquote taught to. So I found that really interesting. But also, if you notice, we're repeating now the chorus. This is the chorus section. I've seen other videos where people were unsure about what section this was. So when you hear this, I'm on the next level, when you're hearing that part, that's the start of the chorus. But we show it to you also in the beginning of the verse. It starts off with, I'm on the next level, to kind of get the listener prepared for this concept throughout the song and the rhythmic sections that we're creating through almost like this certain cadence that we want to lock in. So here's a perfect example where someone's not really dancing. They're just sitting down watching it, but there's no head movement. It's more of like just taking it all in. Oh, there's a head bob. There we go. I got one.
와, 이거
Couple.
예산이 엄청 들어갔겠는데요?
He said they must have invested a lot of money in this.
스타일링도 되게
It looks like they
세련되다.
did. Yeah, this video is amazing. Cool, we got some head bobbing. It's small, but we got it. That's the face we were looking for.
Another new section.
That shock face.
In the middle of the song.
See the confusion?
Call this a middle 8, maybe?
Pardon?
Middle 8.
Oh.
We changed
Another
tempos.
Okay.
We changed tempos. We changed the song.
New
This is a
swung
different
section?
song. We're gone. We're gone. We're somewhere
Yes.
else. What is happening?
Oh, okay, and switching.
So the cool thing about this is that when you hit certain sections of this song, it really does create a whole new feeling. Now, we are all part of this collaboration. So it was not just myself and my production partner. There was a whole other team that we worked on with this as well. A whole other person who we worked on this as well, who's an amazing producer. So to create something like this, it's a mixture of different elements that combines, or when combined, creates something completely new and almost like innovative. And that's very important to this track, because the track could go one direction and then you kind of already know what it's going to be like by the end. But by making these switches and by him thinking of this, like change it here and change the tempo, it creates that reaction in the fans and the listeners to do what they're doing now, where they're covering their eyes, like what's happening, because the mind is so used to hearing songs being in a structure that it could be comforted by. Like, these are the things I'm most likely are going to know are going to happen. But in K-pop, they break a lot of rules, which is one of the reasons why I think K-pop is able to hit so many interesting people from around the world, even if people don't know the language. It's because they're constantly being captured and almost like magnetized to something that's different from the rules that you're used to visually, from the audio. It's always breaking boundaries. And that's one thing I really enjoy about K-pop.
Switching to I Ning Ning.
I love her reaction. She can't look at the screen.
Okay, Cosmo is a new term.
Look at his face. Now that's a reaction. That's a reaction. Yep.
Was that they're playing a different song? Novice. Okay, what is a novice? Novice is an AI system that helps Aespa's avatars appear in the real world.
So as he's breaking this down, and I highly recommend any of you who don't know what's happening, Aespa is creating their whole entire, almost like their own world within their music, okay? So when he's picking up on these words of their AI and their alter ego, and I highly recommend anyone who's into really interesting storytelling, especially through music and video and future of, who knows, video games or something, Aespa is definitely coming in on like a side door that no one has thought of. So the SM Entertainment crew is definitely thinking about music in a whole different way. It's not just about, here's me singing a song. It's how does the song connect to the video, which connects to the storyline, which connects to possibly branding and merchandise. And it's so much more well connected. And I think for certain kinds of people, it creates a new way to receive and to experience music and artists in general. It's not just about I'm making a song that's about my love or breakup or heartache. We're creating songs that have instructions and details to the world that we're in. And you can follow along with it, almost like part of being part of the story.
Oh, so now we're starting to get into the Avatar's world. And this is what we're hearing. We're hearing something different. It's a new song.
Dancing.
Ooh, I love that, dude. I love how it's literally like KDA combined with. You didn't have to pull out your vocals like that. Okay, that was. Why you didn't have to do that? Just right like out of. I didn't expect that.
Perfect. That's the kind of reactions we're all looking for as creators, is be able to give something to people that makes them get out of their normal mood. You know, everyone has their normal day that you're going through, but if we as creators can kind of take you out of it for a bit, have you experience something new, something interesting, something fun, something that you'll react to, then we've connected in a way. As creators and as viewers, we're connecting, you know. And I think that's such an interesting way that they have been able to do this, especially through the video, because this video is amazing. I've watched it at least 5 or 6 times, and I find new things in the video each time, which is very rare to happen. Usually you watch a video and it goes to the end, you kind of get it. But this is the kind of video that you'll watch over and over again, especially as you start to understand their storyline a bit more in depth. And I love this synth that's being used in the background. That was a nice addition. Hey, dude.
Hey.
I like her face. It's like still trying to understand it, get it all in, which is great. Now she's realizing we got back.
Black Mamba is going to be iconic
See,
always.
that's the moment. We brought it back.
You telling me this is one song?
See, notice the mind's trying to understand it all. It's really interesting to watch. And it goes back to that comfort. See, people following the dance moves, I noticed that a lot as well. This is cool. If you haven't heard the song and you haven't seen the video, go check it out on Aespa's YouTube channel. It really is an amazing future-forward video, and the song is really great and matches well. I'm super proud of this whole release. Aespa does a great job on it. Honestly, they take it to a whole nother level. Next level, no pun intended. But anyway, this is my first reaction video, and really I was only doing it because I was a part of this song, but I thought it was cool to react to people's reactions. And the interesting thing about this song, and just for any producer out there, if you need some tips, the whole concept or the whole thing started basically around creating that really groovy bass line. A lot of times when we're making songs, we're finding certain elements that help us to then start to build the building blocks of how the track might feel. Now, there's 3 main elements that help me to create a song and really just the inspiration for the track. And so here's some tips that might help other people out there. I usually start with the drums and the bass, because at least that creates some sort of groove and I can make a song around that. Or it'll be the drums and chords. That's a really good way to start. So a couple chord progressions and a nice solid drum kit, because once again, now I have a drum groove that's creating a rhythm and the chordal structure is helping me with melody. Or I do all 3. I'll make just a 16-bar loop with drums, bass, and chords, because that gives me enough to start to become inspired. So for anyone out there who's kind of stuck on making tracks and you're trying to wonder how do you get that inspiration that's going to be great, the most important thing is your drums, your bass line, and your chords. If you have those things, you can pretty much make a song, at least get inspired to make the song. But here's another important thing. Try to wait for the moment where your body says, ooh. If you can all do that, I'm talking about in your drum groove. If the groove starts to feel cool and you're like, ooh, this is cool, keep that. If you're doing a bass line and you're playing it and it's just like, this is cool, but then you get to something you're like, ooh, keep that. If you're doing chords, and instead of doing them on like, you know, the regular downbeats like boom, 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 you might go boom, 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 boom. Just finding ways to make things a little bit different so you go, ooh. And what you'll notice if you watch other reaction videos of this, when people say ooh, that is one of the main things we are looking for when we're making a track, is these moments that people react to internally and they vocalize it through ooh. Anyway, that being said, my name is Adam McInnis, and I hope you enjoyed this reaction video. I'll see you all later.